Hey everyone, Jay here from Aether Green. Today I'm standing in front of the V2 auto washer. In this video, we're going to break down the settings, what they do, how to use them, and how to get the most out of this machine right from the start. If you're new or just want a refresher, you're in the right place. Before we jump into the settings, I want to quickly frame this video. Most washes fall into a few main categories: outdoor material, indoor material, fresh frozen, cured and dried material. And then there's trim, and that can also be fresh frozen or dried. In this video, I'm going to focus specifically on outdoor material. Outdoor tends to have more dust and debris, and there's just more environmental contamination. So the wash strategy is a little different. The goal here is to clean the material first and then progressively increase the agitation to extract the resin efficiently. So with that in mind, the very first thing I do with outdoor material is use auto wash as a pre-clean. This wash isn't about extraction yet. It's about removing dirt, dust, and debris before we introduce real agitation. Think of this as preparing the material. We want it fully hydrated and clean before we start pulling resin. I'll start by selecting auto wash. For the first wash, I set this to 1 minute. Next is the soak time, and I set this to 20 minutes. For speed range, I set both the start and the end to 3. And then on the spin range, I set it from 5 to 5. Now that we have the auto wash settings dialed in, we simply press back, press start, and the auto wash cycle has begun. You'll notice the pre-soak at the beginning of the wash, and an indicating light will move across the bottom of your screen, telling you when the wash cycle starts and ends. The purpose of this first wash is simple. Remove anything that doesn't belong before we start extracting resin. Once this cycle is complete, I'll drain the vessel completely and refill it before moving on to wash 1. Now that the material is clean and fully hydrated, we can start the extraction process. Let's move on to wash 1. I'll select wash 1, and for wash time, I'm going to set this for 5 minutes. I'll set the mode to clockwise. Clockwise gives you steady, consistent movement without a lot of sudden direction changes. Next is speed. I set this to 5. This gives enough momentum to start pulling resin while staying conservative. For spin time, I set this to 5. This controls how long the paddle spins before briefly pausing. During wash 1, you'll start to see some resin coming through. Don't expect this to be your biggest yield yet. This wash is all about setting the tone for the rest of the run. Wash 2 is about building on that first extraction. The material is clean, it's hydrated, and already moving well. So this is where we begin to ramp things up. I'll select wash 2. Come to the settings again. For wash time, I set this to 10 minutes. For the mode, I keep the mode set to clockwise. At this stage, steady one direction movement gives us strong agitation without being too aggressive. For speed, I set this to 10. This is a noticeable increase in power compared to wash 1. For spin time, I also set this to 10. Longer spin times allow the paddle to maintain momentum and keep the material moving consistently. Wash 2 typically produces a solid amount of resin. and often improves what you saw in wash 1. It's still controlled, but you'll notice a clear increase in activity. Wash 3 typically produces the highest yield due to the combination of increased agitation and plant readiness. At this stage, the calyx have opened up, allowing the ice and water to more freely move through that plant material and remove the remaining trichomes. Now let's take a look at how to set up wash 3, which is typically where we see the highest yield. I'll start by selecting wash 3. Go back to settings. For wash time, I set this to 10 minutes. For mode, I set this to alternating. Alternating changes the paddle direction back and forth, which increases agitation and helps remove more of the trichomes. For speed, I set this to 10. And for spin time, I set this to 5. This keeps the material moving aggressively without allowing it to get packed up. It's common to repeat wash 3 multiple times to fully extract all of the resin. Factors like cultivar, water temperature, and agitation all play a role, so just be patient and don't be afraid to do additional washes. Once you start seeing diminishing results, that's usually a good sign that you've extracted everything worth pulling from the material. Okay, that's the full walkthrough of the Aether Green V2 auto washer and the settings that I use for outdoor material. For more information or support, visit aethergreen.com, and thanks for watching.
How do YouTubers even do that? Took me like 700 tries just to say welcome to Aether Green.